Hello and welcome to the News by Standards. Comedian Rosie Jones seems to be everywhere these days, from Casualty to QI. But as she prepares to begin her first solo stand-up tour, she is also battling against her own feelings that she doesn't belong. I'm excited about the tour, Rosie says, with just a few days to go. I'm a little bit scared, but I'm excited to go out and meet people. At just 32, Rosie seems to have achieved everything when it comes to media, acting in long-running dramas, publishing several children's books, and writing for the Netflix hit Sex Education. She also fronted Trip Hazard, her own travel show, appeared on Live at the Apollo, and got all political on Question Time. But she says people are surprised to learn that she hasn't toured before. I've really only been doing comedy for 6 years, and 2 of those were wiped out by the pandemic, she tells Access All, the BBC's weekly disability and mental health podcast. Her tour, Triple Threat, will examine the ideas of dealing with new fame and whether she actually deserves it, a topic which she sees as an art mimicking life. Starting on the 3rd of March, she has 35 fully accessible venues booked with many performances, including British Sign Language interpretation. She knows she can't be seen to drop the ball on this. I was absolutely determined to make sure every room was accessible, she says, aware the disabled community would be particularly critical of her if she messed up. My production company had to ring up every venue and say, what can you do? And any venue that said, we can't do that, they said Rosie won't go. Although she is excited about her tour, she feels nervous. Being a person who is disabled, she explains about bringing on imposter syndrome. I go in thinking of the comedian stereotype, which I grew up with, which was male, non-disabled, straight, loud, and talking really quickly. When you come to see me, you don't get fast-paced jokes, but I guarantee you laugh a lot. Rosie has cerebral palsy. It affects her speech and walk, and she says she's constantly fighting internalized ableism. Ableism is discrimination that favors non-disabled people above disabled people. Internalized ableism, a phrase we're hearing a lot more of, especially on social media, is when a disabled person absorbs the discrimination they face and think that way about themselves too. Being a woman means that every time I'm on TV, I'll get a comment about what I sound like, my disability, my weight, my teeth, my hair, so every single level is a way to abuse me. Because of that, I'm in therapy. I'm really dealing with a lot of internalized ableism and things that I probably painted over with a joke. Trolling and ableism are on her mind at the moment. As well as preparing for her tour, she's filming a Channel 4 documentary about society's attitudes towards disabled people, which is due to be aired in May. She says, every single day I get some form of ableism online or in real life, and I think in order to eradicate that, in order to face the abusers, I've got to come here and go, you know what, it's not okay. We absolutely need to call ableism out in order to eradicate it. When Rosie appeared twice on BBC One's flagship debate show, Question Time, social media lit up with seriously unpleasant comments about her which made headlines. Both times I started trending on Twitter from all the abuse I was getting, she says. They were saying that I should be in a cage, I shouldn't be on TV, I should die. Stars like TV presenter and author Richard Osman, who himself is visually impaired, came out in support, and it prompted a national debate about the way society view disability. BBC reporter Alex Taylor summarised it at the time, saying society is used to disability being discussed, but not so much disabled people making their own voices heard. It has been 2 years since Rosie's last appearance on the late night politics show, and she has had time to reflect. I think Question Time is brilliant, but it attracts a lot of angry people, and not only being female, disabled, I'm also, surprise surprise, extremely Labour leaning. So when I went onto that show and said, here's what I think, a lot of right-wing people didn't agree with me, and the easy thing to go for was my disability. Would I do it again? Yes, but I would go in there more prepared, and I'd probably shut my Twitter down for a few weeks. The experience rocked her, but she says speaking out for what she believes in is more important. I will always champion diversity, but it's hard and it's exhausting when I expose myself to so much abuse. Despite that experience, Rosie's career has continued to rise. Her series of children's books about the amazing Eddie Eckhard, who has cerebral palsy, has brought her legions of young fans, and she is currently the go-to girl when it comes to booking a female disabled comedian. Selfishly, I like that because it's brought me a lovely house, she jokes, but I don't think I'm taking jobs from other disabled people. We're still, unfortunately, at a stage where they're getting either me or another white, straight, non-disabled person. She says appearing on as many different shows as possible might encourage more disabled people to come into the industry. Her ultimate dream is to appear on a panel show which happens to feature several other disabled comics at the same time. It's something she got close to recently when she fronted Rosie Jones Disability Comedy Extravaganza, an online event showcasing 10 disabled up-and-coming comedians for UK TV Play and Dave TV's YouTube channel. One of the comedians who performed was Dan Tiernan, who talks about being dyspraxic in his stand-up routine. He's gone on to win both the BBC New Comedy Award and British Comedian of the Year, demonstrating the strength and mainstream appeal of the acts. Rosie appreciates that with her recently found success, she can help to change the industry. I've got this platform and it's about how we bring up a load of different disabled comics with me, she said. says. As Rosie gets ready to head to Birmingham for opening night, she acknowledges, "I'm really proud of myself. Just like a rock star, she has a non-negotiable rider that she expects to be provided at every venue. This is the most embarrassing thing. I wish I was a packet of cigarettes and bottle of whiskey, gal, but it's just a bit of Yorkshire tea."